Welcome back, everybody. Oh, I can't see the date. 26th. Oh, bumpy. Ooh, all right, so June the 26th. This, and this is going to be a little bit different of a ride and a vlog. So I have a new phone. For years I've used Samsung phones, and then I had issues with like every single one of them, and I was like, this can't be right. I mean, Samsung, good, make decent phones, but they would last for about 6 months, and then they were over, and I just went through phone after phone after phone after phone. And I found LG, and stuck with LG then for a minute, and then LG stopped making phones. But my last LG phone was an LG V30, and that phone was like rock solid. I only had one issue with it where I had to get it replaced, and like I said, just rock solid phone. And since they are not updating them, I did run into issues finally. I mean, the phone was like 3.5 years, maybe even 4. And I went out, and I wasn't expecting to get a phone. I didn't do any research, so I ended up with a Oneplus, and it was an 8. And everything I did read about it was a decent phone. It's a Chinese manufacturer, Chinese company. So I bought that phone and put it on the old RAM mount. And it was the worst phone I think I've ever purchased in my whole entire life. Now, before we go into why, let's talk about mounts on phones and phone mounts on bikes and cases and how you can protect your phone. So a lot of people mount their phones on their bars like I do. They are in direct sunlight a lot of times. They are usually running some type of music and maps at the same time. So the phone is being used. It's just not sitting there. Like right now, my phone's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. Exposed to heat, exposed to vibration. And here lately, I know Apple, and I have not checked Samsung, I'm assuming all manufacturers are going to say this. If they, and what Apple said is, if you have a phone and you mount it to some type of handlebars, and it is a rigid mount like my RAM mount. What are we doing here, buddy? That the vibrations damage the phone. And not only the phone, but they were mainly talking about the camera in the phone. But I've been saying it for years. Years and years and years that with my phone being mounted on bars, that's what's damaged my phone over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Except for this Oneplus. As soon as I got this, and I would run anything, like anything at all, and if it was in heat, not even sunlight, just heat, it would overheat and give me a warning and shut everything down to where you could still use your phone. Everything was running in the background. It just turned the screen down to where you couldn't see anything, which was just a little of an inconvenience. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, I can't use my phone now. I can still use it. I still got the turn by turn in the helmet because the Bluetooth was still working. The maps was still working. I just could not see. And that phone did not last very long. And the 5G part of that phone took a crap. They sent me a like new phone, and just, this is not a complaint about my phone carrier. This is not a complaint about that phone. It's just to let everybody understand that you can have issues if you do this. So my phone provider, if you don't have insurance and it's still in that 1-year warranty, they send you a like new phone. So it's a used phone, but it should be good. And I've always said, should be is relative. This phone yesterday, and I've only had this like new phone a month or so. It never gave me anything that the phone was overheating, and it was 90 degrees yesterday. It's 86 now. It was a warm day. It like shut down. It went to like its home page. You could not turn it on, you could not turn it off, and it did this about an hour away from home. And once I got home, it still wouldn't do anything. It just showed you, that it was a Oneplus phone and gave you all the little buttons, like if you draw a pattern to lock your phone. Squeaky brakes. And after a minute, I think what happened is it cooled down enough to where it went into a reboot. Like, reboot the phone. Not a... not a reset, but a reboot. Like, so it asked me what language I wanted it to be in, like it was a new phone. And I was like, nope, we're done. I mean, this thing, anytime it was on the bars, overheated. And I think it's just because of, number one, the quality of the phone probably wasn't the best. But it lives on handlebars, and I ride a lot. I put a lot of miles down. So just long story short, I'm back with Samsung. There are mounts out there that you can get a phone case that has the lock on it, and I'll put it down below. Something lock. I do forget the name, and I apologize. My buddy runs it, or has it, and they make a mount. So my RAM mount is rigid, so any vibrations, my phone feels them. I mean, I got little rubber pads here, but still, I mean, it just sits there and vibrates. My buddy's, the actual mount's in rubber, which I think would be the same as this RAM mount. So I'm gonna have to look at his. Maybe I'll ride his bike with my phone and see if it vibrates just as much, or with his phone. Quad lock. He has a quad lock. And I'll just have to see. So all I'm saying is, for people that run their phone on their bars, be aware that if you do not have the right mount, you can damage your phone. And maybe that's how it should have been. But I've gone through many phones, and the only phone that really seemed to hold up was that LG V30 living on the bars of my Spyders. But we'll see. I'm back with Samsung. The quad lock, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of the RAM mount and the quad lock. So the quad lock, you have to buy a case that I don't know if there's any other way, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but you buy a case for your phone, and it has this like insert, and you stick it on and you rotate it and you lock your phone into the mount. It's a very secure way of mounting your phone. But say you have a phone that there's no quad mount cover for it, I don't think you can use then the quad lock. And they have two different kinds. They have one that's like a rigid mount, kind of like my RAM mount, and then they have one like my buddy, to where it has a mount, and behind that mount is rubber, and I mean, you can really move it around. It allows for a lot of movement, so it should not damage a phone. It should absorb that. But one downfall is you have to have the case on your phone for that quad mount. So I don't know if RAM mount has changed this design. I've used RAM mount since I've had my first Spyder. So since 2012, 2013, I've been running RAM mounts. RAM mounts, they do give you these little rubbers to soak up some of the energy, some of the vibration, but it's still a rigid mount. Is it going to do damage? I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, I think the last phone, it was just a poor quality phone, and it would overheat, and it just finally overheated enough to where it was like, I'm done working. But we'll see. I'll see if RAM Mount does have a different mount solution to help with the vibration issues and what Apple has said about their phones. And if I do, I'll put it here. But there are options out there. And just, you know, follow up with your manufacturer on what they say about fix mounting your phone on something. I'll tell you, it is only 84 degrees out here, but it is humidity. Whew, it's like you could cut it with a knife. Crazy this year so far. That's okay, you know, when I'm done with this ride, I'll just go jump in the swimming pool. Is this 668? 668. They're turning left and I'm turning right. I'm gonna end this video, but like I said, you know, this was just to share an experience with my phone. Make sure you guys are buying the right mounts for your phones. Look into what your manufacturer says. I'm pretty sure that the big ones, and I'm going to say Samsung and Apple, have, you know, they have some type of statement about hard mounting a phone. So just look, see what they say. You know, I love my RAM mount because it's just so easy. You just throw your phone in it and you're done. No other special equipment needed. What's up, everybody? Woo! Took a bug right to the eyeball. Glad I got my visor down. So on that, I'm out. Thumbs up if you like the video. Stay safe, and please, these things aren't cheap. Do your homework. I'll see everybody down the road.